No Bartlett Team 990 will be the official English radio broadcast tomorrow evening. First of all, thank you for an exceptional 90 minutes of football in Los Angeles on Saturday evening. For Rafa and Thierry especially, and also for you, Coach Backe. You've played in World Cup finals, you've played in Champions League finals. I would say from where I was, that's probably the greatest 90 minutes of football I've ever seen in Major League Soccer. How close to the standard getting, Rafa, Thierry, please? And just think of your cycle since arriving mid-season 2010. That was unbelievable football.
Well, I mean, you know, it's we've been talking. I was talking to the boss, and I think with Rafa also about the same thing. The aim is to try to attract people, you know, and try to win game and try to win the cup. I think that's the aim for everybody. But at the end of the day, I think it can always be a victory if you. That's the type of thing I want to hear. You know, the game was a great game. Nobody won at the end of the day, but you know, commitment in the game, tackles, opportunities.
The pace of the game is what frightened me.
As you said, the pace of the game, everything. I think that's what I was trying to say earlier on. I mean, I was speaking in French, but that's what you want. You want to attract people, and by doing that, you got to play well and try to perform well. Not only us, but what was great on Saturday is LA wanted to play too. You know, it's not like only one team attacking the other one. They were attacking us too. So that's, I think, what everybody wants to see, and I'm just happy to be proud of this team, because that's what we want to do. We want to play football, and that's, I think, the way to attract people, by playing football and make them understand what football is all about.
The follow-up to that, then, as we grow the level of the football in the league here, we have to remind ourselves how young the league is. Something we've also got to grow, and I'm sure, Thierry, that you yourself look around where you are, and in Harrison, New Jersey, I'm thinking about the culture of football, and that itself, what can we do to grow the culture of football across North America? Because as we grow the participation and the performance levels, that to me is still behind where it needs to be.
Well, I mean, what we're doing on the field, I think, is going to definitely help, and bringing players along, whether it's from South America, Europe, or the guys that are already playing here, and being American or Canadian. But you said it yourself, the history of the game is very young. So what do you say to your kids when you grow up as a dad? You know, you have no stories to tell right now. So we're trying to help, trying to make sure they're gonna have some stories to tell. You're talking right now about the LA game, so maybe you're going to pass that along to someone, and he's going to pass it along, and that's how the game can grow.
My name is Bruno Lebrun from CFNB 12 AM, and my question is about the European model. Previously, in fact, Montreal, you mentioned the European model as a model to follow here in Montreal, and also, just minutes ago, you mentioned that also bringing talents from Europe. How do you see the influence of South American soccer here in North America? From both bringing players and also teams to play with?
I think a key factor could be the academies. If I'm looking at the young, talented players, more and more teams are trying to build up academies, and I think that's probably a key comparing to what they train in high school and college. Because this season, when I look at our players we picked at the draft, they are almost 22 years old. They've been 4 years to college, but they have only been training 3 months a year. In 4 years, they've lost almost 3 years. And they normally, if you compare to Europe, those players are starters when they are 18, 19 years old, that talented players. So it's, but otherwise, as I said, it's, if I understand, I'm not sure I understand the question right, but it's about the money to raise the salary caps to how to say, get young talented players in from Europe too. But I think the number of youth players, as I know, US, it's enough to produce their own players, their own talented players for the league. Absolutely, but I think they need to build academies. I'm so impressed with looking at the spectators, the average for Toronto, Vancouver, and now Montreal coming in. It looks like they're talking about selling 15,000 season tickets, and that's phenomenal, you know. I thought it was only ice hockey in Canada.
Oui, la question dirigée de la presse canadienne pour Thierry Henry. parliez tantôt de nouvel engouement du public nord-américain, mais est-ce qu'en Europe, il y a un engouement chez les joueurs pour venir tenter l'expérience MLS?
Oui, je peux vous dire que oui. On me pose souvent la question, je reçois souvent des textos. Mais non, mais en plus, le truc, c'est que maintenant, le fait d'avoir des joueurs européens dans cette beaucoup plus qu'avant, je veux dire, beaucoup plus qu'avant, des joueurs sud-américains, et ça fait qu'on montre la ligue maintenant. Ils passent les matchs en France, ils passent les matchs en Angleterre, ils passent les matchs en Espagne. Donc les gens sont au courant, ils regardent les matchs, donc peuvent au moins avoir une idée de ce qui se passe, ici. Et c'est vrai que, comme je peux vous dire, je vais rebouger. Non, mais c'est vrai que ça donne au moins une idée, et les gens peuvent au moins venir et rêver à venir. Mais c'est vrai que je peux vous dire qu'il y a pas mal de joueurs qui aimeraient déjà venir ici.
The fan base is phenomenal. I think you can compare it to Europe. Look at the leagues in Europe. It's probably only German, the Premier League, and if you take away the two big teams in Spain, the 2-3 big teams in Italy, the average in MLS is perhaps around 20,000 this year. So you can say that MLS is probably then the third or fourth biggest country in the world. It's about spectators, and no one in Europe has not a clue about this. They think it attracts 5,000-6,000 maximum, and when I tell them it could be around 15,000-20,000, they said it's phenomenal.
Oh yes, Bill Deacon of the Canadian Press. It's two questions. One is for Thierry. Just wonder, there's been a couple of incidents in MLS this year where people have got injured badly. There's one recently in Salt Lake player where it's a 10-game suspension, a 9-game suspension. Do you think the league has handled those adequately, and did you know, does that give you second thoughts about coming over here?
Oh, I mean, I played in England, so second fault or not, you don't think about getting injured. The game, unfortunately, I don't think anybody goes into a challenge to hurt someone. Like we all know, sometimes you kind of lose your minds for a split of a second, but you don't want to hurt someone. I don't know any player that wanted to actually harm anyone. Sometimes you go out into a challenge, talking about how many games that the guys that were involved in the tackle is going to take. I don't know. I'm not in a panel to talk about all of that, but you don't think about that. You don't want to actually think about it. I mean, I saw the one on Zakwani and what happened with Morales. It is what it is, unfortunately. You don't want to see that in the game, but it does happen. I remember Eduardo with Arsenal and Aaron Ramsey the same. You don't want to see that, and I'm sure I'm missing some throughout the years, but at the end of the day, I don't think the guys wanted to hurt anyone. In terms of the games after, I don't know, I'm not involved with that, but it didn't make me think, bad about the league or about the organization or about anything. I just wanted to come here and play, and sometimes you do get injured. I was fortunate enough to not have anything in my career so far, but that's the thing that you don't want to see, but it does happen in the game sometimes.
Just one thing for the coaches. This Dwayne De Rosario is there from Toronto now. How has he fit in? And what do you like what you've seen of him so far?
Yeah, he's doing well, Dwayne. It's a player who can make a difference, very creative, typical number 10. I think still every player needs some time to settle in. When you're coming to a new town, you just all the paperwork, the administration to find a house, everything takes time. But I'm very happy with his performance so far.
Thank you.
Louis-Simon.
Bonjour, Louis-Simon Lapointe, TVM. Monsieur Henry, question très simple. À quoi vous attendez comme engouement concernant ce match entre le Red Bull et également l'Impact de Montréal? Est-ce que vous savez que l'Impact, est-ce que ça fait quelque chose de particulier d'évoluer devant un public majoritairement francophone demain?
Comme l'a dit votre collègue, ça va être difficile, donc je m'attends à un match très dur demain. Je sais, j'ai entendu parler pour la première fois de l'Impact quand ils ont eu ce run qu'ils ont eu en CONCACAF, qui a un peu surpris tout le monde, donc ça a fait un peu parler de cette équipe. Et puis je regardais dernièrement les joueurs qui avaient dans cette équipe et je connais un peu, je l'ai vu parce qu'on a été formés à Clairefontaine, pas ensemble, mais il est passé après moi, mais je connais un peu Kevin Hachi. Donc ça faisait longtemps que je ne l'avais pas vu, donc ça sera pour moi l'opportunité de le revoir demain. Mais sinon, pour parler du public, après, bon, c'est vrai qu'ici, on est dans le côté francophone du Canada, donc c'est avec grand plaisir que je suis ici. Et c'est vrai que j'avais toujours eu envie de venir à Montréal et j'ai jamais eu l'opportunité de venir. Donc merci de nous inviter et vraiment content d'être ici.
Jacques-Théo, c'est classé Thierry. Dans cette veine, justement, avez-vous l'impression que cette réalité culturelle francophone à Montréal pourrait être un bon argument, contribuer au pouvoir d'attraction à Montréal pour attirer des internationaux français ou maghrébins, par exemple?
Je pense que oui. C'est vrai que le fait qu'on parle français ici, je pense que ça peut attirer, bien sûr, beaucoup de joueurs francophones. La ville aussi. On m'a dit que c'était une très belle ville charmante avec des gens accueillants. Donc ça aussi, ça peut attirer les joueurs.
And yet the league obviously wants players like you, Beckham, European stars coming over here to grow the game, to grow the fan recognition, the star power like you. So you'll lose that eventually again.
Well, in New York, I mean, New York is a cosmopolitan town, so every now and then you get the European guys recognizing me and the guy that follows soccer over there. But I mean, like I said earlier on, I do understand that it is important to play that factor. When I say what I say about also is using Rafa, what we've done in Europe, me, the boss, and Backe, but as I said earlier on, it's about how we're all going to play. I think that's what attracts people, the way you can play and you can make them understand what's the game about. I said to you, you have some great guys here. I mean, Dwayne De Rosario is an excellent player. People don't know that in Europe, and that's also important that those guys are doing well here. I mean, not only him, but Donovan and all those players around. It's very important to have them also.
Emilia, c'est cassé. C'est pas une question, c'est un message pour Thierry et Rafa. Au nom de tous ceux qui se chargent d'essayer de développer le soccer en Amérique du Nord, un gros merci d'être venus ici, non pas comme d'autres l'ont fait avec leur nom une fois que leur carrière est terminée, mais avec toute votre classe et toutes vos qualités pour y terminer votre carrière avec brio. Nul doute que ça va aider encore beaucoup plus à développer le soccer en Amérique du Nord et au Canada principalement.
Merci. Merci, c'est gentil, merci.
Une dernière question, Louis.
Oui, Thierry, on peut espérer en vous voir encore combien de temps fouler les terrains de la MLS, combien d'années encore pour vous?
Depuis que j'ai commencé à jouer au football, j'ai toujours dit, et je le dirai toujours, tout part de l'envie. Le jour où je me lèverai le matin et j'aurai plus envie, c'est pas bon signe. Ce sera pas bon signe, mais tout a toujours été basé sur ma carrière, sur l'envie. Donc j'ai toujours envie et je pense que ceux qui étaient au match de Los Angeles peuvent voir, c'est l'envie de jouer, toujours l'envie de jouer, toujours d'essayer de donner le meilleur. Des fois c'est pas suffisant, mais bon, c'est toujours cette envie qu'il faut avoir. L'envie est là, donc c'est bon, tant que l'envie sera là, vous me verrez pendant longtemps.
Comment ça se passe votre nouvelle vie à New York?
Bien. Bien, c'est une ville que je connais depuis longtemps. J'y vais en vacances depuis 1996, donc ça fait un petit moment que je vais là-bas. J'ai beaucoup d'amis. Ça se passe super bien avec l'équipe. Donc voilà, c'est un projet qui me tenait à cœur, mais surtout, c'est pour ça que je reviens sur ce que le monsieur a dit tout à l'heure en parlant du match. C'est ce que t'aimes entendre quand tu dis que ton équipe joue bien au football. Quand tu entends ça, c'est toujours quelque part une petite victoire. Donc ça va.
Merci beaucoup à messieurs Marquez, Backe et Henry. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much.
Juste en avant, s'il vous plaît.